So happy VA Wednesday. Today I am here with Alyssa. A lot of you guys have talked to Alyssa. Alyssa is who, if you guys make an appointment on the calendar, you generally start off talking to Alyssa, and then once you're fully pre-approved, that's when you spend the 45 minutes to an hour going through everything with me that you can think of. So I was asking Alyssa before this, like, what are the questions you get the most? So what do you feel like a big trend is? And just honestly say anything, because I know.
Yeah. Well, the biggest trend would probably be people not knowing where to start, and just making the initial phone call is so hard and, nervy for them. But once, I call them, they're like, oh my God, like, this is so much more easier than I thought. And but what I kind of say is, like, when you go to buy a car, are you nervous to, like, walk into the car dealership and talk to somebody? You are?
I am. Are you not?
Oh, no way. I'm like, bring it on. Like, let me get a deal. You are not ripping me off. And I think that's why I kind of like this job so much, because
you're giving everyone all your, like, empowerment.
Yeah, like, do not let people rip you off. Like, that's all they want to do. So I'm like, shop around, get loan estimates, bring them back to me. I'm going to teach you how to read them so you can go back to those other lenders and be like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, what is this origination fee? I'm a veteran. Like, why are you ripping me off? What are these points? What are this? And it's just really fun to, like, educate people and then get them pumped up to go back, and then they know they're confident with us too, right?
Yeah, I mean, so, at this point, I feel like most of you guys have seen so much of me. You're like, she's like my wife. She's in my house every day nagging at me to do something. So it's a good thing. But okay, so let's talk about, because I remember, so Alyssa is a former client, and I always joke, but it's totally true. She was the most annoying client I ever had.
Very true. 7 years ago.
7 years ago. So she would call, and she would, and look, I'm happy to answer questions. These are questions I was like, really? To the penny. I'm like, this is an estimate. She's like, I need it tighter, and I need it now. And I was like, it's freaking midnight. Like, dude, I answered the phone. Like, that's all you get.
I don't know why you answered the phone at midnight. I don't know why I called. Well, no, I was a nervous client. It was my first home. I was doing a new build, and
that's normal to be nervous.
They gave me 7 loan estimates, and they were like, pick one and let me know which one you choose. And I was like, I don't know I don't even know what a loan estimate is, and what are all these numbers, like, literally, like, pounding my brain.
Didn't you, like, find me in, like, a postcard?
Yeah, so
this is when I did postcards. I used to have these great postcard campaigns where I was like, we did some really, I don't know if you saw the Julie ones we did. They were super silly. It was like, Julie she's an Aquarius. She likes horseback riding.
Oh, God, I could totally picture that.
We just thought it was so ridiculous.
So, yeah, I was sitting, I think you were on the East Coast at the time, so it was like 9 o'clock my time, and I was sitting at my kitchen table, like, with all these loan estimates and, like, spreadsheets, because I'm, like, a budgeting freak, and I was just, like, trying to put it all together, and I looked over, and I saw Jennifer's face, and I'm like, who's this? And I was like, you know what, let me just call this person. I don't know why I was so rude, I'm sorry.
No, it was fine. It was fine. And that's the whole thing. That's been my business model since day one. Someone sees some sort of, like, postcard or video, and they're like, I don't know. I'm confused.
Like,
who's this?
Yeah,
I'll just call.
Yeah, and I did. And she picked up and literally went through all 7 loan estimates with me. And I felt like a genius afterwards. I'm like, I can't wait to go back to this builder and like,
smack them.
Why are you doing this to people? Like, this is, I'm a first-time home buyer. Like, don't just throw all this jargon at me and not explain anything and tell me to pick one.
Yeah.
And secondly, like, why are you ripping me off?
Yeah.
In all 7 of these.
Yeah. It's a good time. So that's what Alyssa does every day now. So every day, if you guys book a time on the calendar, and I know sometimes the calendar can get a little booked up. We've actually opened it up a lot more to give you guys as much ability. It doesn't matter, like, what question you ask. It doesn't matter. There's no reason. So many people are afraid to call because they're like, well, I don't want to waste, like, I hear that all the time.
I'm like, Jen hired me to talk to you to answer your questions.
Yeah.
Like, you're not wasting my time. You're not wasting Jen's time.
And we learn so much from it. That's the thing that people don't realize. So with lending, there's so many different scenarios. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I think it's almost 15 years now. It's a long time. And every single day, we hear a new scenario where we're like, you know, let me talk to an underwriter, because I think people expect lending to be very black and white.
Yeah, it's not at all.
No, there's so many shades of gray.
Well, and another thing I want to point out.
I couldn't resist.
Another thing I want to point out is a lot of other lenders are just like, oh, just fill out an app.
Yeah.
We are not like that.
No.
I am like, sometimes I'm telling people, like, I don't want you to think I'm like trying to dissuade you or be negative, but I want to be confident that you are ready to apply. And that's what I do, the readiness calls. We go over your income, down payment, credit score, and if you're not ready, then we put a plan together to get you ready.
And so what we mean by not ready is if, like, a great example, I think, is if someone says to me, like, hey, I'm thinking, so right now as we film this, it is May. Okay. And if someone says to me, hey, I'm thinking of buying in December, you know, but I want to get my credit score up, but do you want to look at it now? No. If your goal's December and you already know that you're working on your credit, the best thing I can do for you is support you by saying, I don't want to pull your credit right now. And the problem with the lending industry is that, especially right now, because there's going to be a lot of mortgage companies that go out of business, there's going to be a lot of lenders that go out of business, there's going to be a lot of realtors that go out of business this year.
I'm like, do lenders get paid just to like collect applications they don't use? Like, I don't understand why they want to just get everybody's application.
Well, so the reason that they do it is because a lot of people, once they filled out an application or they provided information, they don't look around.
Oh, and we're like the opposite, like, educate yourself.
Yeah, and so, you know, that's why they want the app, is because they think if you guys, even though it's not in your benefit, if you fill out an app, then they start their automatic drip campaigns where you get the emails, because every lender has that now. I mean, we have it too. They're ridiculously written. It's like, God, there's one, I think it's changed, but it was literally like, make sure you get a rock hard pre-approval. And I was like, this cannot be coming from me. Like, what is this? Like
Jen does say some pretty...
I say some pretty unique things, but no.
That one.
No. I mean, no. But they just want to get the app.
Yeah.
So, you know, our biggest deal is that, like, I feel like this is like a weird infomercial now. Where it's like, just call us.
Yeah.
It's okay. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't ever want you guys being scared to call and ask a question or feel like you need to be really prepared to call us. Because I've had people where they're like, you know, I've been waiting 3 years to call you.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Like, I have all these questions. I want to make sure I jam pack into this meeting. Like, call me tomorrow. Call me the next day.
Set up a couple calls.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're super chill. And the way that this business is structured is it's not, you know, some lenders, the way they get paid, like, it's all about like, you gotta close it, you gotta close it, you gotta close it. It's not the way my business works. My business is, let's educate, let's make sure you're comfortable, and then when you're in a position to move ahead, if you want to move ahead with us, great. That's when we fully underwrite you. That's when you spend an hour, you know, 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it's shorter. Some people really don't want to talk to me that long. I don't take it I do. Sometimes I'm like, are you sure? Do you hate me?
They're like, I've already talked to Alyssa, I've already talked to Sam and Jen.
Yeah, I talked to Sam, I talked to Maria, I talked to Chadwick, I've talked to CJ. Like, who are you at this point?
Yeah,
I'm like but look, if you want to do that, we're always here to help. I really just wanted to introduce you guys to Alyssa today.
Nice to meet you guys, finally.
Yeah, who a lot of you have talked to on the phone before, because it was long overdue. So if you guys ever have VA questions, comments, if you're like, should I do VA or conventional, or this person's trying to tell me to do FHA, just call us. And if you have a weird scenario that no lender can answer, we'll send it to an underwriter and hopefully they can. Once in a while, we're all perplexed, but then we call VA. So we want to learn just as much as you do. So please bring us everything except for fraud.
Yeah.
For everyone who wants to bring us fraud or ask us how to work the system, we'll do another video on that.
Mortgage.
Yeah, don't use the word loophole in a conversation with us, please. But I'm licensed in 48 states. Happy to help. Alyssa's licensed in a bunch of states too. They're
13 now.
Yeah, they're just growing by the day. So we can answer all of your questions. And then for rates, you know, if you're in those states she's not licensed, you will be dealing with me to get those rates, or Sam or Jen.
Yeah.
So, okay guys, thanks for watching. I know this was long, get a little rambly, but at least you know who you're talking to now.
Yes.
Thanks.